We received a notification through our GVI email that Test Manager step is complete. Let's log in to Perform as test employee and check our tasks. We can see that there is a task assigned to us. Let's click on the message to access the task. This is the acknowledgement task. All we need to do is acknowledge that we had the discussion with our manager about the evaluation. Comments are required to complete this step, and you can follow the verbiage provided, or you can add your own comments before completing this step. Now that comments have been provided, we can complete this step. The acknowledgement step is complete, and we know from our past review of the process section that step 3 is our self-rating. If we are unsure, we can always go back to the dashboard and check the task items, which we can see the task is already on our task menu. The self-rating step is an opportunity for us to rate ourselves on the core competencies and provide answers regarding our strengths, challenges we overcame, and accomplishments in the employee narrative questions before the immediate supervisor does their rating. When we access the self-rating view, it will be similar to the one that we saw earlier, but we'll be able to rate ourselves, and the indicators on the left are there to let you know whether you completed all of the required steps. Anything that has a red circle next to it will need our attention. When we've completed all of the steps in this section, the red circles will turn to green check marks, and the button labeled Submit Evaluation will turn green, and we'll be able to submit our evaluation for our self-rating. Let's start by clicking on the first competency, which will take us to the rating screen for that competency. On the top left side of our screen, we will see your total rating score and a description of our overall rating. When we begin to rate ourselves, the total rating score and the description of the rating will automatically change based on how you rate yourself on each competency. All ratings are scored on a 4-point rating scale, which you can see under the section titled Rating Scale. Below the total score and overall rating is the name and definition of each competency and the weight that each competency has on your overall score. Each competency carries the same weight, but your rating for the competency will determine your score for that competency. Let's take a look at the 4-point rating scale located below on the left side of the page. The rating scale for each competency is as follows. 1 is unsatisfactory, 2 means needs improvement, 3 means meet standards, and 4 means exceed standards. You can view a description of each score by clicking Show Descriptions. This shows you a description of each score. It's important to note that if anyone rates themselves as a 1, a 2, or a 4, they will need to provide comments to support their rating in the comments box. Comments are not required if someone rates themselves as a 3 or meets standards. The person will know the comments are necessary because the box will automatically have a red border. If anyone provides a rating of a 1, 2, or a 4 on a competency without adding comments, they will not be able to complete the rating process. While in the rating step, you will have access to ratings from your previous evaluations and your journal entry. If this is your first evaluation, there will not be any previous rating entries. You can search journal entries for submissions that you made or for journal entries that your supervisor made and shared with you. If you find a journal entry that is relevant to the competency rating, you can use it as a guide to support your self-rating. After you rate the competency, click Next to go to the next competency until you get to the section on employee narratives. If you need to pause the evaluation and continue later, you can do so by signing out of Perform. Perform automatically saves your progress. When you return, the task will still be on your dashboard and you can continue the evaluation. The employee narrative section is an opportunity for you to speak freely about your strengths, challenges you overcame, and your accomplishments. This section is different from the competency section because it is not rated on the 4-point rating scale. Comments are required for each question before you can complete the process. If at any time you're unsure about whether you provided a submission for each competency or narrative, you can click on Done in the top right corner and it will take you to the Rating Start page where you can view any items that are incomplete. After you have successfully completed your responses for each item in the rating process, you can view your overall rating by clicking on the To Overall button. This screen shows your total score for the 19 competencies and your overall rating. The overall rating score and rating description are automatically calculated using your self-rating for each competency. After reviewing your overall rating, you can click Done, which will take you to the main self-rating screen. Here, we can see that all of the red circles have turned to check marks. If you want to make any changes to your ratings, now is the time to do so. If you feel you are done with your self-rating, you can complete this step by clicking on the Submit Evaluation button in the top right corner. After this, you will see two messages. The first will indicate that you are almost done and will ask you if you want to continue with submitting the evaluation. The second message will be an acknowledgement that your rating was submitted. Let's go to the evaluation process section and see what's next. Step 4 in the process is the manager rating, followed by the after rating stage, where there are approval steps assigned to test manager and their immediate supervisor. After the second supervisor completes their step, test employee will be able to view the evaluation, and this will be followed by a meeting with test manager before the last step is assigned to test employee. Let's go back to the dashboard and wait for the notification that it's our turn to complete a task.